Welcome to Around the Board, a show where four board game enthusiasts discuss board game topics and news. Here are your hosts, Andy Barnett, Chris Thomason, Daniel Connors, and John Theismann. Now, join us around the board. Hey, everybody.
How's it going, Andy?
Doing okay. How about you guys?
Oh, doing good. Doing good. I've actually had a question on my mind recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What do you got?
Maybe you guys can help me out. Have any of you eaten at a Whataburger restaurant yet?
I have.
Really?
But not in Kansas City.
Oh. And for those of you that don't know, we're from the Kansas City area. And the greatest football player in the universe plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And of all time.
And yes.
Joe Montana, right?
Yeah. No.
Len Dawson.
This man's a Cubs fan, so
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Priest Holmes.
But,
October Legends.
yes. But anyway, Patrick Mahomes has willed it that Whataburger will be available in the Kansas City area. So they're starting to open in the Kansas City area. I was just wondering if any of my fellow podsters here had tried Whataburger yet. I have not tried it myself yet.
So I have.
Okay, and what is your review?
Okay, so I have, and I almost got in some huge, full-on, big-time family trouble because of it.
Oh gosh.
So my nephew was getting married, and I was supposed to carpool with some my brother and his wife or whatever like that. So we drive over to their house, and I was like, hey, let's leave early because they live over near one of the Whataburgers, and it just opened, and I really wanted to go because I wanted to go for so long. I've heard people all over the internet talk about their honey butter chicken biscuit being like the greatest thing ever. Okay. And I was like, I got to get this thing. So we go, and long story short, I'm literally in line for an hour trying, like, through the drive-through trying, but I'm like,
before
I don't
a wedding.
realize how. Super long story short, we make it barely in time. We get there like 10 minutes before the wedding starts, but it's because we're in line for an hour. And at one point, even, it was really insane. One of the people ahead of me got out of their car and walked up to the person that was like at the ordering spot and like started like talking to them, like, get moving kind of thing. It was quite insane. Wow. It was crazy.
So if you had been late to the wedding, you were literally going to have to ask one of your they'll be like, hey, why were you late to the wedding? Well, Patrick Mahomes said I needed to eat this hamburger. Yes. Got to do what Mahomes says.
Right, correct. I mean, I'm going to be honest, Mahomes is more family to me than my nephew. Joking. Ryan, you're amazing.
Well,
congratulations.
Getting to the bottom of your story here, was it worth it?
Oh man, so by then, like, I was on like anxiety level 9, right? And so like I ate the burger, and it was fine, but I didn't really get to enjoy it, unfortunately. So I have to go again to really judge it. But I mean, it was fine. Yeah.
Well,
it was a very unfortunate event.
That was a great story, and I appreciate that. But that's not why people are here. You know why they're here.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
That's right, Daniel. Thank you for asking. It's time to play Around the Board. This is a game show where we go around and ask 4 different topics of our contestants, which would be myself, you, Chris, and John. We're going to have someone award points to them. This person is someone who shall remain nameless. They are behind the scenes. They are a independent judge, unbiased in every way. And whoever has the most points at the end of our 4 games will get to pontificate about whatever they want to talk about as far as board gaming is concerned, or anything else, I suppose. But that's how the game works, and we're going to start off with our first game. That would be hosted by you, sir. Daniel, what do you got?
We have Quacks of Quedlinburg. We're going to jump right into talking about a game that the 4 of us have played. And yeah, but not those kind of
about
quacks.
Ducks?
No, not ducks. It's
not a duck.
No. It's
what kind of game is it? What's it about?
Well, it's about people who are making potions and trying to sell you a bill of goods and it's,
like witches?
Like witches.
We have found the witch. May we burn?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, in Quacks, you're neither a duck, you're more like a witch. You are a snake oil salesman trying to send your goods to whoever is going to buy them. You're going to do this by buying reagents to throw into a bag, and as long as you don't pull enough, mold out or something like that, spores. If you roll out too many spores, the whole potion explodes. But it's essentially a push your luck game, a bag building game. You're going to be putting in these chips. Each chip has different powers. When you play them on the board, they're going to trigger your power, or maybe at the end of the round they triggered the power. But anyways, Quacks of Quedlinburg is a pretty popular game. I think it was either nominated or won the Spiel des Jahres a couple of years ago. And
John's favorite contest.
That's right. And so it has a lot of fanfare. So, but is there any fanfare on this show? What about you, John?
Well, Quacks of Quedlinburg, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit probably conflicted on this one. I do enjoy the game, but as far as the theme goes, it's the first time I've heard it explained the way you have. I guess I didn't realize you're selling things to people. I guess that is how you earn the money to buy the other bubbles or whatever it is that you're putting in your potion. But I think it's the push your luck aspect that really, I enjoy push your luck games a lot of times. For some reason in this one, I enjoy it, I guess, but I don't ever get to that point where I can make myself push. I play most of the games I play with it, I never bust because I can't get myself to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing the math in my head. And
that sounds like a you problem.
No, I can't do it. I can't get myself to bust. So, and you really kind of have to early on. I think you really kind of have to bust early on to get your money up and to make things easier for you later on to build that pool. But it's one of those games that it is very approachable, and I've always enjoyed it every time I played it. However, I do think also you need the expansions to give it the more replayability because I've actually played it back to back with the expansions before because it's like almost a completely different game. You're like, wait a minute, what are we playing with this? What do these do this time? Otherwise, I could see where you would be just have your favorites that you like to fit in your bag, and that's what you do, and you have success with them, and then you basically everything be the same. So so I'm a little iffy on it. It's not one I would ever buy. It's one that I've always played when it's been offered and enjoyed it. So I guess you'd put me a little bit in the middle of the road, which is pretty rare for me. But that's what I got on Quacks right now. Chris, what do you say?
Quacks is a game I really enjoy. Yes, it is press your luck, and that's actually usually not my kind of game. Though there are some games that kind of break the mold that I really like. I Can't Stop is also one of them. But yeah, no, I really like Quacks. It hits a lot of different notes for me. It doesn't play too long. It can play as multiple people just as easy and quickly as less people, so which is a rare feat usually. But it's because everyone's playing at the same time. But while I agree with you, John, there's kind of some limited replayability somewhat with the base game. Even if you just get one expansion, though, I feel like you have almost limitless replayability there, which is something I'm a big fan of. And, because I'm from a time of gaming when we played games more than once. And so I really appreciate that. Like John said, you can just kind of have your favorites. But what I do is I'll just put them in a giant stack and randomly draw out, be like, this one side A, side B, and just put them out, all the different numbers and colors. And you got to think on your feet that game. Is this strategy going to work? This one going to work? It all depends on how they come out. So I like it. It's a lot of fun. It's simple, but rewarding. The push your luck. Anyone can play it. Great with families. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. What about you, Andy?
Well, thanks for giving me an opportunity to talk here, Chris. I really appreciate it. Let me tell you what I think. First of all, I'm going to tell you a point of order, a point of fact. That would be that Daniel brought up the Spiel des Jahres, and once again, as the resident Spiel des Jahres defender on the show, I will tell you that, yes, it won the Kennerspiel des Jahres, which is the connoisseur game of the year. That would be in the year 2018.
Ooh, I think I said 2018. You're welcome.
What's
Good
that?
job.
I'm pretty sure I said 2018, so.
I don't know. We have to go back and check that. I don't think you did, but I could be completely wrong.
We'll see.
Anyhow, Yeah, it's a fun game. It's a fun push your luck game. I got to be honest, I have not played it that much, and I have not played it with any of the expansions. So maybe that does make things a little bit more interesting. I think it was it's made in such a way that it is a game made for expansions. Very much in the vein of I don't want to say like Dominion, but I could see it having endless expansions and what you could do with the different potions and different things. And push your luck is always fun. I wouldn't say it's one of my top games, but it's not bad. I kind of find myself in the middle of the road like John a little bit. I'm not gonna give it too much trouble, but I'm not gonna sign off on it being one of the games I'm just dying to play either. So there you have it.
All right. Well, that goes back to me. So I am not the biggest fan of Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's fine, but it is in a genre of game that I have never really enjoyed. What's the game? Manila. It's another push your luck game. Dice Town, I believe it is. Those two games are both push your luck games, and I had owned both of them, and I got rid of both of them as well. I do not like push your luck games. I don't like these games that make you feel like you have all these decisions to make. You can really think out a good strategy, and then it's like, oh, whoops, I pulled the wrong thing. All my strategy and all my plans are suddenly out the window. And some people will say things like, oh, well, this game is really good because if you bust, you still get points or you get money. So they're like, at least you get something even when you bust. But I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I cannot control my own actions and control what I want to do. The other thing that I'm not a big fan of Quacks of Quedlinburg about is that the tokens seem to be very conditional when they're used. Like I think it's the green one that always comes into play when it's like your last, like if it's the last one on the board, then it has an effect. It's never the last one on the board. Never the last one on the board. Why would I ever bother myself buying that green piece of garbage? And then if I would never buy it, then why is it even in the game? So Quacks of Quedlinburg, press your luck game, get out of my face. I don't really care about it, and I don't want to play it.
So the problem I've got with this, Daniel, is that you're basically saying you don't like to have fun. I mean, that's basically what you described. The reason you slammed it was because, I can't control everything. I don't like having fun with people. It's an experience game. Come on, man.
You're right. And it is a good experience. I do play it with Brendan, my 9-year-old. It's one of his favorite games. At some points, it is his favorite games. And it's a blast to play with him. But as far as like grown-ups are concerned, no, I'm not going to play this very often.
You know what would be a much better game?
What's that?
A game where
Same as a duck. She's made of wood.
We know who has the real sound.
Okay.
John, what do you got to say?
Daniel.
Yeah, it'd be about having a scale to weigh whether a witch is a duck or a duck is a witch.
Right.
And, anyway.
Daniel, two things. First of all, Dice Town is not a press your luck game. And two, do you like what's that game?
Dice Town is a pressure luck game. You got to roll poker hands.
Do you like Orleans? Do you like that game?
I do. I do like Orleans.
It's the same thing. It's bag building and push your luck.
No, it's not push your luck.
It's not push your luck. Bag building is different.
It's bag building and worker placement.
That's true. It's not so much push your luck.
Manila, though, is a great game. You mentioned Manila. That's a fun game.
Dice Town is not push your luck any more than poker is.
I think the judges just did not agree with you because you just lost some money.
That's not a surprise.
So yeah, no, it is a pressure luck because you can take the hand that you have and stop and force everybody else to roll one more time, or you can keep going. So every roll is actually a push your luck because that could be your last roll. So, but that's not the game we're talking about. So. Thing. Maybe we'll talk about that one later. We won't. No one cares about it.
We should talk about Manila, too. We should talk about Manila.
All I know is your point, Daniel, on the green one where it needs to be last or second to last. That should be right up your alley because it's all about taking unnecessary, ridiculous risks. And that's what you love to do in games. And that's exactly what you do. Do I ever take that piece? Never. No. Because that's how I play with no risk. You should want nothing but the green ones. Except that would actually defeat the purpose because then there wouldn't be any risk. So.
Yeah,
that's true because then they all be green.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the strategy. Go all green.
Go green.
That's the sound to go to the next game.
Okay.
Yes. Sounds good.
I guess.
All right. What do we have next?
I think
we're going to
it's
talk
Andy.
about game designers. So here's my question for you. Do game designers matter to you when you're picking out a game to play? Do you specifically ever go, I really feel like I'm in the mood for a Knizia game or a Feld game or I feel like an ooey game right now. I kind of do sometimes. I don't know if I specifically would do that exact scenario, but I do know that I can go to a game designed by a quality game designer. I can go, that's going to be fun. That's going to be good. It's going to be right at my alley. I know what I'm getting into usually when I go to their game. So I want to ask you guys what you think. Let's start with you, Chris. What do you got?
Me. I'm going to start. Sorry, I'm just going to.
No, I'm going down. I decided to go down. I'm going down.
No, we're going
We're
around.
going counterclockwise. I'm changing it.
Okay.
It's my topic.
Counterclockwise is unholy. It is un-American, and we're not going to do that. We're going to go around the board. So, yes, does the designer matter? Absolutely, it matters. Now, I will say it's not like the main reason you play a game, or it's not like the number one reason a game might be interesting to me, but you put a name on there that I know and have enjoyed all of their games in the past. Why would I not want to buy that game? If you give me an Alexander Pfister game, I'm going to want to play that, and I'm going to want to play it as soon as possible. If you give me a what's the guy who made Catan? Tuber?
Klaus Tuber.
Yeah, see, he's washed up. Why would anybody want to play a game with him?
He's not washed up.
Jeez.
Name one game he's made after Catan.
Respect your elders.
I do respect you, Andy. It's good. So, okay. But anyways, yeah. So having a designer helps you gonna know what you're gonna get when you play in that game. Like if you have a Steffenfeld game, you're gonna know that it's gonna be awesome game, but it's going to be a point salad. The points are going to be everywhere. The designer really helps you decide if this game is going to be good. It's not the only factor, but it needs to be a major factor. And if it's a new designer, great, wonderful. But I'm going to go into that one a little more skeptically because, I don't know what that designer's done. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they have a good eye or a good mind for games. So I think the name on that box is pretty important. And I also think it's one of the reasons that defines our hobby from the unwashed masses at Walmart. We know that these games have love and care, and that is why we enjoy playing them. And if we didn't have that name on that box, then we would not enjoy them as much as we do. All right, John.
From the makers of Hungry Hippos.
Yes, exactly. All right, John. I think you disagree with me. So what do you got, bud?
I'll take the baton from there, and I'll freely admit that I might be I know I am in the majority or the minority of most of the elitist type gamers that I consider my friends. And to me, the conversation many times goes towards designers and what's your favorite Feld game? What is your favorite Rosenberg? As if we are discussing wines, and that's usually when I tune out because I don't have a favorite designer. I know the names. I know some of the games they make, but it's not something I look at. It's not a main focus for me. I'm looking at what the mechanics are. I'm looking at what the theme is, and that's pretty much it. And if it happens to be by a designer, great. Then I'll check it out because that just gives us another list, a check off of things that might make it a good game. But am I the only? I might be the only one that I know I'm the only one in this group that couldn't care less about designers. But that's the way I feel about it. And yeah, give me don't wake daddy every day of the week. No, I'm just kidding. But I've never chosen a game by the designer. I've never looked at a game for the first time because of the designer. It's always been about the theme of the mechanics. And if it's a theme and mechanics I don't care for, it's probably not going to matter to me what the designer is.
Yeah.
But that's just me. We'll go to Chris here, who earlier said he likes short games, even though he's a big 18XX fan. But go ahead, Chris. What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, that's fair. I like games of all lengths, but so I will agree with you, John. You are the one that cares the least about designers, and that's only because I care the smallest amount. It means almost nothing to me. That I will admit I have a love affair for the good Dr. Knizia, but outside of that, like there's not a game designer that I'm like, oh, they did it. Well, I need to play it then. It's just not a thing for me. And And yes, I'll agree that, usually there's some parallels from one game to another within the same designer and stuff. But at the same time, like, one of my favorite games is Glass Road by Rosenberg. Two of the games I loathe the most are also by Rosenberg, being Agricola and Feast of Odin. So they don't, it just doesn't mean anything, like, to me. Like John said, it's all about the mechanics, it's all about the play. It doesn't matter who wrote it, who drew it, none of that matters. It matters about the play and the play alone. So unless it's the Good Doctor, then, hallowed be his name, or whatever you want to say. So, Andy, what about you?
Well, first of all, here's a little love music for you and the Doctor.
Yes.
Just thought I'd let you get down.
I should have had put on my bow tie for him.
So you and Reiner can get a room. I mentioned it up front that I'm a fan of looking at the designers. I really am. I will say that it helps me not only find good games, like I am a big Uwe Rosenberg fan. I like most of his games. I really do. And you're crazy for not liking Agricola. Agricola is a fantastic game. So is Le Havre. So is Feast for Odin. So is Caverna. Anyway, Stefan Feld's games, they look terrible, but they all play awesome. In fact, I just played a Stefan Feld game recently, one that I had not played before. And that would be Trajan, not Forum Trajan was one of my favorites. Trajan. I had not played Trajan before, and so I played that earlier tonight, actually, in fact. So yeah, I like looking at that. But the other thing is by seeing designers' names on things, I can also know what games to stay away from. For instance, if it's got Steve Jackson's name on it, I'm steering clear. I don't want a Munchkin guy. I don't. He made Munchkin and then he made Revolution, which Revolution could be a good game, but nobody plays it the right way. You're supposed to talk a lot of trash and you're supposed to be diplomatic, and we've covered this. But anyway, I digress. Another one that's kind of interesting and puzzling is Richard Garfield. Obviously well known for Magic, but some of his other games, they've been kind of hit or miss for me a little bit. I guess Bunny Kingdom was good. Too many small bunnies, though. Too many small bunnies and too many small carrots. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Thank you for listening.
All right. Well, why did? I got to defend Revolution real quick. It's a great game by Steve Jackson.
No, we already did that.
You guys, it was a hidden episode. Nobody really saw that one.
Oh, that's right. It was our episode 0.
That's right, with horrible misspelling. So if you guys ask really nice, maybe I'll let you do it. It's
now a collector's item.
That's right. But hey, guys, I would be interested to hear what the viewers think, though. Do you guys care about the designer at all? Does it factor in your decision at all, or are you like John and you can't even name 3 designers? Let us know in the comments below. But I think that's going to put an end to the first half of our show. And right before the first half, we have some new people who are trailing. Now it's Andy. It's usually me, but Andy with 4 points. John, despite losing a couple points, managed to get back up to 6, and Chris and I are tied at 8. So stay tuned. We'll go to mail time. We might have a commercial break, and then we'll get back to the game.
All right, welcome back to Around the Board. I'm Andy, and whoever does those things is really weird. Anyway.
I just can't wait for them to come out on Kickstarter. I got money to throw.
Yeah. I'm super excited. Hey, it's mail time now, though. We're going to go to our mailbag, and if you ever want to send us an email, feel free to do so. You can message us on Facebook. You can send us an email at, the email that's on the screen now, and we would be glad to read your letter here on the air. So today's letter comes from Mr. M. Mr. M writes, what was the last game you played? Like literally the last game you played, and rate it right now, 1 to 10. Go, Daniel.
Okay. It's right on my table. It is Marvel United X-Men, and I played against Blob Pyro and what's the other one? Toad against Spiral, Strong Guy, and Polaris, and I'm gonna give it an 8. It was like a 5, but all the Kickstarter stuff is really good, and the game's a lot more challenging, and I really wish people would play it with me. Please.
Okay. Good. Very good. John?
Last game I played was, to make sure it's right side up, Picture Perfect, which is the game that just beguiles Chris because he doesn't understand how it's a game. And so
I mean, there's lots of girls that think paper dolls are a game, so it's totally okay.
there you go. I would have to give it I'm giving it at least like a 7.5 because for what it is. I mean, this isn't something you're going to dive into and have a lot of crunchy decisions for 8 hours. It's a 30-minute game where you're placing paper dolls around a table and taking a picture of them. So it's as fun as that kind of a game can be. I really like Picture Perfect. I got a couple of the expansions on the way, and it's a great time. So if you haven't ever played it, find out why it's a game and find out how it's a game because it's pretty cool.
So we
Chris,
joke, but
you?
actually, I'm actually very interested to find out what this game is. Like,
Yes.
like I've off air, I've talked to him many times. Like, I actually want to play it to see what it's about. But anyways, so I had to think about it for a while, but I got to thinking, and it was actually Memoir 44 was the most recent game I played. Love it. It's fantastic. I also the same day played its fantasy companion, Battle Lore, 2nd edition, and even though they use the same command and colors and kind of the same basic like foundation is there for both games, they really are different enough that it's worth owning both, in my opinion. Memoir 44 is like a little bit quicker, more straightforward, and because it's historic, like, you know, the battles are not really balanced, but you can, if you care about who wins or loses, you can just play both sides real quick, back to back, and total points, but that's not really the point of that game. If you really want to care about winning and losing, that's why you want to play Battle War, because you build your own armies and stuff like that. But yeah, I love Memoir, always have, cool. And Battle War really shut up the ranks for me. Finally, I played it.
Give it a rating.
What's your score? What's your score? 1 to 10.
We need points.
On Memoir.
Yes.
All things considered, I mean, at least a 9. Wow. The play is fantastic. All the historical kind of stuff they put in the rule book about the different scenarios. I mean, and then if you got 2 copies, you got the Overlord rules. You can play up to 8 people in this really super awesome way. And Memoir is deserving of all the praise it's ever gotten.
So I have to ask.
Bust out that romance music again here soon, Chris. You're so over the top with things today.
I have to ask, Chris, who'd you play with? Because I thought you only played games with me. Is there other people in your life?
No, and so this is very inside baseball. We only mean money things to the people on this podcast and a few others. But I actually played with Randy. Played both Memoir, First Enroll, and Battle Lore back to back, and I beat him in all the games. I won all 3 games against Randy.
Yeah,
it was funny. We were reminiscing about it afterwards at a barbecue for 4th of July, and Kathy, his wife, asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, Chris won, and she was like, wow, and then he's like, yeah, he actually won all 3 games, and she just couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Mark that in the record books. I'm glad we have that on video. All right, Andy, what about you, bud?
Right. Well, the last thing I played, Bud, if you're going to call me Bud, I'll call you
calling everyone Bud tonight. It's my word.
Maybe Chief, maybe
Hey,
Captain,
Friend.
Web below. Sorry, I shouldn't have. Anyway, last game I played was Trajan, and I just played it earlier tonight, actually, and I really enjoyed it. I'm a big Stefan Feld fan. You've heard me gush, but this played a lot like some of his other games, boring my butt. It's great mechanics. Looks terrible. Great mechanics, though. Great game. The thing that was interesting, it was a point salad game, and there's lots of different ways to earn points. The immediate critique I've got of it is that maybe, this is again just after 1 play, it benefits you to go all in on one strategy only. I played against Tyler, and that's what he did, and I kind of split up and did 2 different things, and I think I lost. I think it was 125 to 110, something like that. But I know, but it was a fun game. It was fun. And
what's your rating?
I'm going to give it I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I'll give it an 8.
Loser say what?
I do want to play that with you, Andy, as soon as possible. Well, it's been on my list for a long time.
As soon as possible. As humanly possible? Like, I mean, we could start right now.
What about alienly as possible?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay,
cool. That's better.
All right, well, this was fun, but let's get back to the game.
Let's do. And I believe it is I.
Oh,
never mind.
Are we going to play this every time?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I thought you were setting me up for it.
I mean, why not?
All time, so it's all good.
Anyway.
That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take my own walk-in music. But
oh wait, you want your own music?
Finally. I'm not a Canadian.
Do you even have any like family that are Canadian?
No. Finally.
Just Complete fabrication.
Wait, it's the only thing I had that said idiot on it. So there you go.
Oh, okay. We'll play it.
We're starting already. All right.
Yeah, here we are. Bring it on, Theismann.
To kind of go along with the walk-in music, like wrestling theme, we'll say, finally, it is time for Jungle Jack to host Play Shelf and Trade. For those of you who aren't familiar with Play Shelf and Trade, it's where one of us usually does a really bad job of picking 3 games for the rest of us to decide if they want to play one of them, which one they want to play immediately, which one they will, it's good, but they're going to shelve it for later, and which one they like, I've had enough of that game, I'm going to trade it, or that doesn't interest me whatsoever. Now, of the 6 games that we've had nominated so far on Play Shelf Trade, there's only one that I would really play, and that game is in Denver. And I don't live in Denver, so I'm in. Really oh, I'm sorry. That game is in Denver, and that is a good game. But that is literally the only game of the 6 that have been put up that I would actually play.
You know, can I break in real fast, John?
Can't. No, you can wait.
No. Listen.
And so
I'm going to do a parody. I'm going to do a parody game called In Denver.
Okay.
That's going to be one of the parodies.
That should be one of the parodies. But anyway, the games that I have are games that everyone out there that's watching, listening, whatever you have heard of, have a working knowledge of, can actually relate to us talking about.
So Monopoly and Clue.
So Daniel, I would like you to go first.
And don't wait, Daddy.
Skippo and Racco, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. 1, you went counterclockwise again.
Well, number 1,
2,
that's not really the game.
2, I was hoping what I was hoping to hear.
Everybody was trying to beat me to my own joke, so it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But anyway, actually, these 3 games, everybody here has played at least 2 of them. One of you should have played all 3 of them by now, and you will know who you are when I say the games.
Okay.
But they're all very good not deck builders. What are they? They're all very good drafting games. That's what they are. And we go with Chris first. You're correct. First, Chris is going to the first one up, and we've got the classic, the amazing, the great drafting game 7 Wonders.
They're leading the witness.
Okay. Yeah.
We've got the fantastic new modern classic drafting game that is about an amazing future where everyone is happy and nothing bad ever happens to anyone, Daniel. And that game is It's a Wonderful World. It's a wonderful world in this game. There's nothing wrong with it. And the last one, which a lot of people don't classify as a drafting game, but it is Isle of Cats. So that's another newer one but it's a classic, turning into a classic that people have played. So Chris, have you played all 3, and why not if you haven't?
Okay. I have not played all 3. I feel personally attacked for good reason. So I'm in possession of John's copy of Isle of Cats and have been for about 3 months and haven't played it yet. So we're going to go play on that one just in good faith. We're going to go with Shelf of 7 Wonders, the classic. And then we're going to it's simple for me. We're going to trade the crud out of A Wonderful World. That game was trash, in my opinion. Didn't enjoy it at all. I know. Just cut right to the heart of a John. But yeah, it was just not for me. So this one was pretty simple for me. Sorry, John. I'm going to try to play All the Cats as soon as possible. Andy, what do you got?
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so for me, it's pretty simple. I'm going to go with Sushi Go is the one I want to play. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That wasn't on the list. No. Terraforming Mars with drafting. That would be... No, not again on the list. No. I don't like your choices at all, John. I don't.
I didn't choose them for you.
I know you didn't, because we have a thing. We have a thing where we're... Yeah. Anyway, frenemies. So, I'm gonna play It's a Wonderful World. That's what I'm going to play. I actually have grown to like the game more and more as I've played it with you, John, and I've gotten to like it, and I've gotten to know the cards, and I've gotten to know the mechanics, and I feel like there's some depth to that game that there aren't in some of these drafting games. So I really do enjoy It's a Wonderful World, and I really enjoy the little expansion that you got, too. What's the name of the expansion?
Ascension and Corruption.
There you go, Ascension and Corruption. That was fun. So I'll give that one as the play. I'm going to shelf Isle of Cats. I've actually never played Isle of Cats either. I want to play it. I've heard many good things. It looks fun. It looks interesting. And I'm going to trade away that classic you speak of, 7 Wonders. I'm not a big fan. I don't know. It's just overplayed. There's so many games like that I've played too many times. Dominion falls in that category where it's like, yeah, it was fun for a small period of time. But, man, now it's just I'm done.
All right,
All
cool.
right.
That's acceptable, actually. Daniel, what say you?
All right. Well, I am going to start with play, and I want to play It's a Wonderful World. It's become quickly one of my favorite drafting games. I enjoy it a lot. I bought a copy, which is usually against the rules, because I say if one of my friends have it, I'm not going to buy a copy. But even though John has it, I still bought a copy, but it's also still in shrink. So, there's that. But I love the fact that it is a dystopian world. And I love the tongue-in-cheek nature of that. So for the shelf, I'm going to do Isle of Cats. I have not played that one, so good job, John, picking a game that only you've played. But the game I'm going to get rid of is Seven Wonders. It's just not my thing. I've played it in the past year. It was okay. I've tried to get rid of it from my collection a couple times. Nobody will take it. It's kind of sad. Also, Seven Wonders Duel is vastly superior, so it's also hard to get that to the table when you know that Duel is sitting right there, and I could just be playing that instead. So what about you, John? These were yours, so I'm assuming it's going to be very pulling at your heartstrings here and deciding.
Yes, it is. It's pulling at my heartstrings, actually. And yeah, you can play Seven Wonders Duel instead if you only have 2 people. But so and I don't know if any of you ever tried playing Seven Wonders with 2 people, but it just doesn't work. They have some kind of a clunky third player in there, and it's kind of odd. And there really should be some here. I'll save that if I win and I have a rant. I'll say something about the player counts on boxes. But this might be a surprise to some of you the way I rate these, but I would definitely play It's a Wonderful World and try to dispel this rumor that it's a dystopian future, because it really is a great game, and there are so many different ways to play it. And then when you play every different empire that you choose or what have you, changes your focus, and sometimes you stay on that focus, sometimes you don't. If you've never played It's a Wonderful World, it's a very fluid situation, and you only have 4 rounds to figure out what to do with the fluid. So it's the fluid's going everywhere. Oh, so it's really tough to figure that out in 4 rounds. So that's my play. My shelf, I'm not sure why that music's coming up. My shelf is actually going to be Seven Wonders, because actually that's kind of been resurrected lately. I bought it on clearance like 4 years ago, and it sat there unplayed for 2 years. And lately it's been a really big hit with some of my play groups. Some of them have never played it before, and it's really been getting a lot of plays. Now I'm thinking maybe I should get one of the old expansions or something to throw it in there. So that's actually going to be my play. And Isle of Cats, I would say it's on my shelf, but it's on Chris's shelf, so I can't really put it on my shelf. So maybe I have a third category, Chris's shelf. But no, Isle of Cats would probably actually be the one that goes away, because I got most of the plays out of that with my wife, and now she likes that New York Zoo a lot, because they're both polyomino too. And to be honest, I like Isle of Cats a lot better than New York Zoo, but I play so much New York Zoo, I get some all the polyomino I need for a while. So ironically, Isle of Cats is going to be the one that goes away. It's really tough to make a choice on this, though, but that's going to have to be the way it goes.
It sounds like to me he's conceded the rule of 9/10 possessions 9/10 of the law. And he's just already conceded that he's traded it to me. So fantastic.
It's pretty much already been traded, yes. So
this will be entered into evidence in court.
Board game court.
Yeah, where's your sound for that, Andy? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Where's your Judge Judy sound?
I don't know. I need something. That's got to be a parody too. Board game court.
All right.
Indeed.
Next time on Board Game Court.
I think we got another game coming up. Are we playing the music again, or are we going straight to...
No more music.
Chris for the game.
Did somebody say music? Oh, okay.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, what do you got for us?
So we are going to talk today about the game Village. It has a upcoming crowdfunding program through Plan B. And
I'm super excited, by the way. I just got my expansion for Villagers, actually. Sinister something or another. Is that what you're talking about?
I think it is.
No, I'm talking. No? What I'm talking about is actually. I don't believe so. I know that at least the upcoming crowdfunding project is going to be a big box, including all of the really? Previous expansions and promos.
Oh, this is My Village.
No, it's not My Village. That's
not
actually a separate game, which I've been told is very bad. I've not played it, but
okay.
Yeah, you don't want that one. You want the one that just says Village on it.
I thought your words were my hot garbage, is what you said. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's possible. Again,
So-
I've only heard glowing reviews of my village, so
The Village game is based on that M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yes, the Shyman
that's
Islands.
correct.
Shyamalan
Yeah,
Island.
The Shyman Islands. They're there near the
Hey,
Cayman
M. Night
Islands.
Shyamalan Island.
I don't know what is going on here.
We honeymooned at the
anyways,
Shyman Islands.
It's going to be a big box, include
Next to the
all
Cayman
the
Islands.
expansions, promo cards, and actually a brand new expansion. The new one's also going to have a ability for a solo mode. So all that sounds well and good. I actually like this game a lot. It's an oldie but a goldie. Though I actually personally just only played it for the first time a couple of years ago, but I loved it immediately. Enjoyed that kind of old school art. And that's what I want to talk about. Oh my.
What?
This art is really bad.
What?
Like I don't care about art. I know that's kind of my thing. Like this is the same thing as I got for New York Zoo. Like everyone says that the art is good in that game, but it's like so washed out. It looks like it was left in like the sun for 20 years and then they boxed it up. That is actually bad art, but no one says it. But when you start talking about old games, people are like, "Oh, this art's old just because it's old. It's bad." When in reality, no, it's actually very talented. But again, art is based on the person, so be it. But the art for this new one, like I feel like I'm looking at like a children's book or something. It's just I don't know what to say. Have you guys seen this art?
I have.
It's
really bad.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Andy?
I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, it is kind of looks like a big children's storybook. It does. Kind of looks like a coloring book, and it looks very like it should be. Once upon a time, it was time to play the Village Big Box by Incas and Marcus Brand. Yeah, I mean, if you could come with that kind of voiceover with it, maybe it'd be a good game.
If only you knew somebody that could do that.
I know. I wish I knew somebody too. The art is a little concerning. I have not played Village, so I can't comment too much. I got to be honest, but I will say this: if I could use my time to expound upon something, and that is the trend lately to release, re-release versions that are big box games that are they try and upgrade the components, and sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss. I've actually got a few out right now that I've backed. I'm personally waiting for with some anticipation for the Castles of Mad King Ludwig game, which actually looks really good. The artwork they did there and the components looks really cool. I've also got the Palaces of Carrera coming, which is a game that had been out of print for a long time, and it's a fantastic game. But I digress. Village Big Box does not look great. No, I would not spend my money on this just based on looks alone. As far as the mechanics, I will have to defer until I get a chance to play.
All right. Well, I would say for me, I got the original game as a Christmas present a few years ago from a friend of mine, and it took me about 2 years to get it played. I played it.
That's quick for you.
I know, 2 years. It's like a new record for me.
Not
I
bad.
get it. But I played it, and then I hadn't played it for 2 more years, and then as soon as we said we're going to start talking about the Village, I started looking around my room, and I don't. That game's not in my collection anymore. I honestly don't remember getting rid of it. And so if you have my game out there, just let me know. But I might have math traded it away, and I felt really bad because it was a gift. But I feel less bad because the guy who gave it to me, he's actually selling the game that I bought him for Christmas the same year. So I feel like what's that? I feel justified
Vindicated.
now. So Vindicated, yes. I'm also selling that game too. I don't like Vindicated anymore. But no, the art, yeah. So I know it's been pretty buzzy to talk about whether that's good art or not. I don't see what's wrong with it. I think it's pretty good. I like the minimalistic style that it's presenting, and I'm probably not gonna back it because I didn't really like the game, but I don't understand why people are like freaking out about this art. I think it's wonderful. I don't know what Chris is talking about. This looks like 20 times better than any game that he bought in the 1970s. So I don't see his point of view on that. But hey, each his own. Art's eye of the beholder, all that good stuff. So John, what about you? Are you gonna tell us how wrong Chris is? I hope.
Well,
you do.
I've got a little funny story about Village, in that a friend of mine gave me his copy last November. And so I was able to gift it to my sister, who really wanted it, because we had talked about it. And yeah, that friend was you, Daniel. So
okay. Well, good to know. I was glad to know where that is.
Where it is.
Mystery solved.
And it's been played at least twice since she's had it.
Well,
so,
good. I'm glad it's being loved.
I know I played it twice with her. So and it's a really good game. I don't know if any of you have never played Village, not aware of it. You've got different generations of workers, and you're trying to have fame in different areas, and they all end up dying. Well, not all of them end up dying, but you want some of them to die so they can die with fame and fill up the famous parts. Famous parts in the what is it, like the city yearbook or something like that. And then if they're good for nothing, they go over in Potter's Field and they just lay over there. But after so many people die, the game is over. And so it's to me the artwork seems to be the only thing they're changing really much on this. But to me, I thought it was so true to the original artwork. Other than, I think it's easier to tell probably where the spots are where you're putting people, because when you're first learning the game, you're like, where do I even put, or where the cubes are? You're like, what is that even attached to? And so, because it's like the opposite of worker placement almost, because you're taking a cube to do an action off of the board, and so you're depleting how many options the next person has. But to me, it's the board is almost, geographically like exactly the same, and it, I guess, washed out is one way to look at it, or coloring book look. I don't know. I thought they just simplified the artwork but kept it pretty much the same. To me, the player boards are the big major change. If any of you are familiar with the player boards, you had this huge track that went around the player board. Now they simplified that to a smaller one, which is the time track, was when when people die. And everything looks like it has a spot on your board now where you just kind of threw it on there before and didn't really know where it goes. So to me, it's a big 2 thumbs up, Siskel and Ebert style. I think it's going to be inspiring some new players into the game. Maybe Andy will even play it. If he doesn't get turned off by playing My Village, then maybe he will like Village, which is an actual good game. But that's my thoughts on it. Chris, back to you. Or have you already given your thoughts? I don't know. I got confused. You said quite a bit in the opening.
Yeah, I did. You said that like the art looks the same, and I can't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. It just, it's a completely different feel. Like the idea that you're playing these people from a family, and like you only get points when they die. Like there's obviously some like kind of like dark humor going on there, and like the art from the previous one wasn't like scary or anything like that, but like it had a medieval kind of like gothic feel to it. So like there was that kind of like dark humor, but it's like it just, the idea that you're trying to get these people killed and get points with it for them dying, like on this like picturesque like children's book, it's like it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't match.
Have you read some of these children's books, like the old fairy tales? They're pretty terrifying. Exactly. So maybe this is correct. It's like, oh, we all live in a peaceful harmony village where everyone dies, because that's the circle of life, son. You will die.
I suppose it's possible.
Good night.
I didn't find it as being particularly gothic in the first one. I just thought it was a dated 90s looking game. It looked like every 90s game. And to me, it just looked,
I think it came out in like 2013.
Overly intricate.
Right, exactly.
Overly simple in others. I don't know. It just looked bad. And the game overcame it. I think it'll probably be better with the new artwork myself.
Well, I'm curious. I'll be interested in playing your copy. You backed it, right, John? Is that right?
I did not back it, no.
Chris, you backed it?
No.
Daniel backed it?
No, I haven't.
Nobody backed it. No. All right, well, I'll never play it. That's fine.
Oh, you will, because as soon as this hits the market and people start selling their good copy of Village, I'll be buying
those. There you go. Because now they're hard to find right now.
There you go. Let me just correct myself, too, from earlier. I said something about Villagers, and I really did. There's another game, Villagers, that I really like that I do have, and I just did get their expansion. It's called Shifting Seasons. I said something sinister. I was thinking of the company. That would be Sinister Fish Games.
Okay.
So.
And that's the game based on the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Villagers. So I thought you were just thinking of like the next Spider-Man movie when you said Sinisters, and I'm thinking about that Marvel
Sinister
United
6.
that you want to play with me. Good old cooperative game.
There's probably a village in that.
I just thought he was trolling like always.
Well, I kind of was, but
Andy, it takes a village, buddy.
All right,
It takes
guys.
a village.
Well, I think that ends up that conversation. And with that, it also ends up the game portion of our show. So let's look where we're at. Andy, can you see the leading board? Who is
yes, thank you so much. It's an honor to finally win.
What?
No. I was hoping that you would see the big 7, which is half of my score of 14. And John and Chris almost edged me out, but not quite. So the big winner today is this guy, just like his Cubs won in 2016. We're all due
And
one
he's gonna
eventually.
win just as often.
Likely. All right. So, guys, tomorrow is before we record this. It's about to be here in Gardner, Kansas. International Tabletop Day has been moved to July 9th, and we're days away from doing it. I'm super excited about it, and by the time this releases, it already happened. First, I want to say thank you to everybody who has joined this channel because of that event, and I hope to see you at the second Friday and all that stuff. But for those of you who are not in this area, I do just want to point out these gaming events. I see on Facebook a lot of people or say like, I don't have gaming groups, I don't know how to find gaming friends. Listen, we're all gamers. We all like people. That's one reason why we play games. If you are having a hard time finding a game group, just go to these get-togethers. Just be bold. And I guarantee you that those gamers will see you come in and they'll be like, you know what, this guy, he's been wandering around the store. He really needs to play. We're going to get you into this game. And, you know, if that doesn't even work out for you, go find the one friend that is actually going to play games with you and start something at like your local church or at your grocery store that has like a eating area. You know, just start with a small group and make that group build. I've been working on this group called FBC Gamers for about 10 years now, and we started off with 10 people, and now we're up to 450, and we have this massive event, and it all started with just this one little idea. So if you're in an area and you don't have anybody to play with and you think you don't have a gaming group, go out there, start one yourself. Go find your one friend and start playing games together, and if you start hosting them, they will come. And that's it.
This motivational speech was brought to you by Daniel Connors.
That's right.
You're good enough and you're smart enough.
Yeah, I don't know about that part about we like people. That's not really a tribes thing.
Well, most
The
of
We
views
like
are-
our own people,
Obviously,
not other people.
The views are
Obviously, these
expressly
rules
the
aren't all
hosts.
universal.
They're expressly the views of the host and not necessarily the other members of this podcast.
Well, heaven forbid I be encouraging, but
I'm just joking. I love meeting people and playing games too. Chris is just old man Chris, and that's
That's
right.
true.
All right. Well, is that it?
That
I think
wraps it
that's
up.
it, guys.
That's it.
All
Thanks for
right.
joining us around the board, and
Thank
make sure to
you.
check out all our social channels and follow us and send us mail, and you too can be a part of the show. We'll talk to you next time.
See you next time, guys.
See you around the board.
I don't have any toys to play with this time.